comes that some are asking about even profanity. When it comes to interaction between husband and wife, is there any exception? Uh, some of the students of knowledge compiled an article regarding this, and they mentioned that even in terms of intimacy with the spouse, person should avoid al-fuhsh, profanity, or words that are extremely indecent. Because of the hadith, يكره الله الفاحش البذيء. Allah dislikes the one that uses obscene language, foul language. And also it comes in wordings describing the believer is not of that state. And it says here, the article, لم يؤثر عنه أنه فعل هذا ولا قريبا منه مع أحد من زوجاته الطاهرات. It didn't come of reports that the Prophet ﷺ spoke of certain wordings, such wordings that he perhaps rebuke publicly with his spouses, of whether it be in like things that people share of the Arabs, what they say. It wasn't reported. And they mention that the scholars have said, نص الفقهاء على جواز الكلام حال الجماع بما يثير الشهوة. It's allowed to talk at the time of intimacy, of relationship with the spouse, and a person could do so of wordings that arouse the desire. But he should avoid, here they say, al-kalam, that is saqt, or kalam as-saqit, that speech that is very lowly and totally wordings that the person shouldn't utter, whether it be indoors or in private sessions with his spouse. Those type of wordings. And Imam Malik was asked about that, and he rebuked it. And as for Sheikh Abdul Karim al-Khudair, he mentions ينبغي أن يكون المسلم عفيفا في سائر تصرفاته. It's upon a person to be modest in all of his behavior, whether it be statements or actions. But he says if it's not capable to reach to a particular wording, except by mentioning even wordings that are a person shy of, then a person can do so. And like you mentioned, there's a hadith that a person did so. If there's a need for that particular affair. But as for what people perhaps even reach into the level of wordings that could be like wordings of swear words, of insults, or these wordings, it shouldn't reach that level, he mentions. And he mentions also that if it's intended with this obscene language he's saying, the people say, of what is maybe permissible, of intimate words that people are generally shy from outside, but may utter it between a man and his spouse, then this is allowed. This is allowed. And the proof for this is the hadith ibn Umar in Bukhari. كنا نتقي الكلام والانبساط إلى نسائنا على عهد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم هيبة أن ينزل فينا شيء فلما توفي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم تكلمنا وانبسطنا. And it comes a narration that Ibn Umar said we used to avoid certain type of chatting with our spouse of certain wordings, fearing, like here he says, during the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ, we used to avoid chatting leisurely and freely with our wives, lest some divine inspiration or revelation might be revealed concerning us. But when the Prophet ﷺ had died, we started chatting loosely and freely with them. So that type of manner, it's allowed. And if that is what relating to, for example, arousing the desire and having wordings that are relating to intimacy with the spouse, that's okay. But something I wanted to add regarding this topic, that Sheikh Muhammad Salih al-Uthaymeen mentioned, that some of these wordings, it depends from one land to another and one custom to another. So he says some wordings can just be disliked, some of them can actually be haram, and some of it can be wordings that people are just generally shy from, but they won't utter in public, but it's okay to utter in private. So he says this is all to be looked at. This is all to be looked at. So I hope this clarifies and answering your question, inshallah.